Good day, Bermuda. I'm Senator Couto, the Shadow Minister for Economic Development, and I'm here to tell you about the government's most recent budget. The government has said a lot of things in this budget and made a lot of promises. But putting aside the government spin, we've studied the actual numbers, and there are three things you need to know about this budget. Number one, it's the biggest budget ever. Number two, and you already knew this, the government is out of touch. And number three, the economic recovery plan has failed. Let's break it down. Number one, the biggest budget ever. It's the highest government spending ever, other than 2010, at $1.2 billion. It's the highest debt cost ever under this government, at $143 million last year. And it's the largest debt amount ever under this government at $3.3 billion. That government spending is fueled by the highest level of taxes and fees ever in the history of Bermuda. It's the largest spending on staff and consultants since 2017. That's increased 13% under the PLP government, and they budgeted a further increase in staff since 2021. Bermuda, do you feel that you're getting the service that goes along with the biggest budget ever? Number two, Bermuda, government is out of touch. It continues to supply rosy projections about the economy that have nothing to do with what you are feeling. While international business, a critical linchpin for our economy, is doing very well, when we put that aside, once we look at Bermuda, the local economy is struggling and has not kept up with the rest of the world. So let's dig into that. Let's look at GDP, or gross domestic product. That's a measure of the economic activity. Bermuda's GDP shrank minus 1.8% between 2017 and 2021. Meanwhile, the OECD countries grew by 2.2%, and the United States grew by 4.7%. And if you put aside IB, real estate, and financial services, Bermuda's GDP shrank a massive minus 10.7%. That is what people are feeling in Bermuda right now. Retail sales are down minus 10% since 2017. They're up 15% in the United States over the same period. Jobs are down minus 6% from 2018 to 2022. Retail is down minus 7.5%, and accommodation and food services are down a whopping minus 28%. That's what we're seeing on the doorstep, Bermuda, and that's what you're telling us. Meanwhile, in the OECD, jobs are up 2% and up 0.6% in the United States. Bermuda, why do I give you those numbers? You already know it. The economic recovery plan has failed. Fish processing plant, on hold. Vertical farming, canceled. Gaming, stalled, thanks to the government's political interference. The arbitration center, if you ask me, that's Bermuda's latest Mexican pepper plantation, and you can see it in Hamilton every day. Meanwhile, Bermuda, the government continues to spin its pie-in-the-sky plans and mismanage your money. Last year, not only did the government not make the full payments it promised to operate the hospital, it didn't even budget for them. And they want to talk about medical tourism, but they can't even sort out our own healthcare. And as for the new Morgan's Point proposal, I suspect the most information we'll ever see about that are the pretty pictures in the Premier's budget statement. Why, when this country needs hotels, is the government looking to do a development like that will only compete with the same kinds of private developers it's trying to convince to invest in Northeast Hamilton, St. George's, or Somerset? Bermuda, my colleagues and I in the One Bermuda Alliance are listening to you. We will be straight with you about where the island is today. We would create, and more importantly, actually achieve realistic and effective plans to create jobs and bring investment to our country, like the Lauren and the St. Regis Hotel. We would operate in a fair and transparent way, and we would exercise fiscal responsibility, not for the sake of money itself, but for the social benefit of all Bermudians.